Welcome to AF1 2021, round 5 for the Lotsanian GP Practice Qualifying highlights. We're here at this 10-turn, 4.04 mile track for what will be a 47 lap race tomorrow. We have two DRS zones at this track, one down the main straight, one down the back straight, heading down into Sector 2. Sector 1, however, is quite fast, a banked turn at Turn 2, very interesting. Drivers have been saying how fun the track is to drive. Middle sector very tight and twisty, and the final sector opens out after a hairpin going down the DRS zone onto the main straight. Two speed traps in some interesting places, one at the exit of turn 2, one going into turn 6. But practice, as ever, was hectic. In FP1, there were two incidents. Nikita Mazepin had a strange crash, hitting the back of Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton would try and let him pass by going wide, but Mazepin would spin anyway into the rear of the Mercedes, breaking the front right suspension on his Haas, and ending his session, bringing out the red flag for the first time of 2 times in that session. Leclerc would be the next driver to fall foul of the circuit with a strange crash, losing all grip it seemed, going into turn 1, overcorrecting and hitting the wall with the left side of his Ferrari. A big impact, ripping both the left side wheels off the car. The tether's not doing their job. But Q1 would come up the day after as Antonio Giovinazzi having a vicious crash, slamming on top of the tyre wall on the main straight. After hitting the rear right wheel on the wall on the exit of turn 10 at the final corner, he would spear to the left side of the track and hit the wall with the rear of his Alfa Romeo. Moments later in the same session, we'd have a weird, strange incident, for lack of a better phrase, between the two Haas cars as had been holding up Schumacher. Schumacher was very angry on the radio, and Lando Norris having an oversteer moment as Sergio Perez went fastest for Red Bull in Q1. Q2 would start off with a big accident for Lance Stroll, end with a big accident for Lance Stroll. He would have a suspension failure at the end of his final lap just after he completed it and went head-on into the wall, breaking the right side of his car. A rather big impact for the Aston Martin driver, as Hamilton would go fastest in Q2 and then in Q3 as well. An incredible lap from him, going through all the corners with precision. All the other teams going well. You could see Lando Norris behind would have a great performance himself in qualifying, as you shall see when we get to the qualifying results. He would come out the final corner. No toe for Hamilton made it more impressive that he was fastest by 1/10 of a second over the McLaren of Lando Norris. Here are your qualifying results though. Hamilton and Norris on the front row of the grid. Norris been pressing in the McLaren in what was very fast all throughout the weekend. Verstappen and Bottas. A bit of a disappointment for both of those guys, hoping to get onto the front row, of course. Alonso, incredible performance from him. Ricciardo just behind that. Leclerc and Perez in 7th and 8th place, and running out the top 10 is Gasly and Esteban Ocon. Another great performance from Ocon, both Alpines in Q3. Sainz narrowly missed out by 100th of a second on Q3 with Vettel alongside him, Stroll and Tsunoda on 13th and 14th. George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Latifi and Russell separated by 1,000th of a second. Incredible performance from Latifi to get so close to Russell. Raikkonen and Schumacher very close, and Mazepin for the first time this season not starting from last. You're watching Alston Asia AF1 2021 Round 5 Practice Qualifying highlights, and I hope you enjoy.